Okay, here we go. We can't just jump right. We can't not have jump straight in. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the show. Thank you for joining me. Yay, you're here. I should have named this show Holy Crap 30K. Some of you may remember when I started this little endeavor a little less than a year and 8 months ago, that at the beginning of lockdown, I just decided to come on screen and start yammering in an attempt to both just assuage some of your fears, help you deal with some of the anxiety, the reality that was going on, and also to sort of point out how all the evidence about your future demise was largely weighted in one direction, meant to make you afraid, and there seemed to be plenty of people out there that were like, what a great time to make everyone feel as bad as possible while not actually helping. So, and also a lot of people's fears that Trump was actually going to win the election. Oh, remember that? Remember when you guys thought Trump was going to win? I remember that. That was fucking adorable. And I had to stay up all night with you on election night, live streaming. And in the beginning of that business, I couldn't clear five. We were punching to try and get 5,000 subscribers to just come in and hang out. We had like 80 people in the chat or something like that. And people, started tapping people on the shoulder and going, hey, let me know when you're tired of being miserable. There's this show I'd like you to watch. And by golly, a little over a year later, we're at 30K, and it's all organic. It's all real people like you choosing to subscribe and be here. I'm not saying that a bunch of these other shows are supported largely by bots and have a lot of either phony or purchased or accounts supporting their network or both. I'm allowing for the inference thereof. And so I not only am I proud that we finally hit that number, but I'm also very proud that it's all people who actually chose to be here, and you trust me with your time, and you trust me with your, I guess, your little satchel of anxiety you carry around or something. I have turned into sort of the political equivalent of an anxiety dog for some folks, and I couldn't be happier. If there's any better job for a comedian, I don't know what it is. Because that's the point, all my life, like, comedy has served as a way to kind of take the fear and anxiety out of life, and both interpersonal and in the greater scheme of things, because while we're all dealing with it, it can be paralyzing. It can be really nerve-wracking to the news going off all the time. And again, I don't buy into this idea that we live in some sort of giant, like, corporate machine that wants to tell you the Raytheon angle, and they only tell you, like, this huge conspiratorial like news mindfuck idea. I think the honest answer is far simpler, and that's that most people are trying to do the best job they can and the job that they were hired for, and people who are hired during an emergency chase emergencies, and people in newsrooms hired during points of big news chase that same kind of news, and in their effort to inform people, they have thrown the whole, I don't care if this upsets them, they should be upset, they need to be informed about this, out the window. And that belief system, which makes them a good news gatherer perhaps, also does not temper them against the reality on the ground, and creates and almost a new front that someone has to report on. So they're like, this is spiders are going to fall from the sky in I don't know if you saw that this morning, if you weren't here for the morning show. Apparently there's going to be a blizzard of spiders hitting the Northeast soon. And in the telling of that story, they show this horrifying picture of a spider the size of a baby's hand, which is just like, what a fucking terrifying image. Just like this child walking out, like trying to lick snowflakes with spiders landing on its fucking face. Yeah. And then way down in the story, it's like, they're harmless and they might actually be good for things, and birds eat them, and yay. Like, fuck you. And there's a lot of that to the news itself in a bunch of different areas, especially when people have a, specifically the Republican Party. A lot of us, I think, would wish that the Democratic Party would be this clever, but the Republican Party is definitely a fear farm. And anyways, I just want to say it's nice to be here to kind of look at it, look right at the right-wing news media monster that's out there, like Trump stares into an eclipse, fearlessly and perhaps stupidly. But oh my gosh, thank you so much, Tobias. I'm cheaper than therapy. It's true. I like to think. And ultimately, what I want to constantly remind people is that you have more control over your mood and your mental well-being than you think you do. And a bunch of people are going to be trying to sell you the idea that you have something to be afraid of, and your fear just creeps on you without your permission, and it doesn't. You make a decision about how you're going to feel about something before you actually hear it. Most of the time. I mean, obviously, if there's like truck, that's different. But even then, you've just, over the course of your life, someone yelling truck, looking just over your shoulder really loudly, you figured out from when you were a child, probably through your college years, that that's not a good thing. So that decision to go, when you hear it, is both reflex and learned behavior. And in a lot of these cases, especially when it comes to the Trumps of the world, the people who are like, they're winning everywhere. We can't stop. We're going to get tired of them winning. And then somebody like me comes along and go, actually, they're going to lose, and they are losing, and they keep losing, and you don't have anything to worry about. And when they show you who they are, you don't have to look away. You can look at it and go, oh boy. So, anyways, I just think that I am grateful that you guys allowed me to sort of enter your living rooms or your TVs or your telephones or wherever you watch the show over the last couple of years and turn it into a genuine thing where I look forward to it as much or more than you do. So there you go. All right. Oh boy. All right. Now, the gas prices, they're going up. It's terrible. And I mean, basically, there are maternity wards being shelled, and then there are gas prices, and they're basically the same thing. We as Americans know what it's truly like to suffer right now. You and I are walking across the obliterated bridge, carrying the wheelchair of our grandmother, metaphorically, by paying gas prices that are relatively close to what they were in 2014, post COVID-ish. And of course, as we're in this ridiculousness with Russia, as we transition away from this stuff, by the way, and this in many ways was to be expected. Gas prices would have. I mean, oil prices are going to go down later on this year, but they would have that arc would have happened sooner. But for, of course, us having to remove all the oil and gas that is provided to Europe out of the international markets, raising the overall price, because if you remove the supply from any direction, it's going to raise the price on all this other stuff. Also, Joe Biden does not buy oil and gas. He stopped the U.S. companies from being able to import it. So you can actually, technically speaking, Shell and BP and Exxon and all these guys can buy Russian oil. They just can't bring it here, and they can't refine it here. Now, we coordinated with some of our allies, the majority of European allies, so that they can't do it there either. So that's not strange at all. I mean, this is a huge issue with the Russians right now, and we need to move away from this. And it's super ugly. It's not even something where, if the prices were going up like this and people were complaining because Russia had not yet intervened had not invaded Russia or invaded Ukraine and done all it's done, and they were just still sitting on the border, and this was ratcheting up, and we had done these sanctions like everybody else had said. Because keep in mind, and this is kind of, I'll get to the point eventually. If you'll recall, before Russia invaded, before Putin sent this invasion force in, Republicans were calling for us to an embargo, a blockade on Russian oil, like all the sanctions. Remember that? They all just said all the sanctions. Why are we waiting? Why are we doing piecemeal? Why are we all the sanctions before anything had happened? Basically, and my argument was going, well, that just creates a situation where, hold on one second, you can't do it. Hold on. That you don't give him. Then at that point, he's like, well, what good is it if if I listen to their demands or don't invade? I might as well invade. They've screwed me already. I have to, right? I have to, go in. The sanction. They've done all the sanctions. And they were screaming for that. They were like, let's do it. Do all the sanctions on him. Hit him. Why aren't we hitting him hard? Why aren't we hitting him hard? Because they didn't think about what those things were and the fact that once done, they aren't undone quickly. And so there's a point of where there's no return on investment in this. It's a point of no return. You get to this point, and once you've slapped on all those sanctions, it will be months before some of them are felt, and months before you could remove any of them. Even the ones that happen quickly will, the damage will be felt for a year or more easily just by turning them on. The SWIFT system, all those kind of things. So the damage done by those particular sanctions is why they were done piecemeal. It's because, look, this is going to be worse. So, like, here's the ones that if we turn them on in a week, we could turn them off. And in a week after that, things are back to relative normal. And then they keep ratcheting it up, and you do one, well, this one we turn on, and if we turn it off the very next day, if you're like, okay, sorry, I'll move my troops back, the very next day, if you turn it off, it takes 2 months for things to get back to normal. Then we hit the ones where it's a year or more. Those are the ones that you hold back because it gives, in theory, gives a logical and non-crazy person an out. It gives them a chance. All right, they're serious. If this happens, then it's going to be, months before my economy recovers. Therefore, I'm not going to do this. And so you do the sensible steps. And then if they step past a certain line, then you've done all you can, and you aren't just abusing them, and they can't make up this idea like they just attacked us with sanctions. It's that, I mean, they're already saying it, but it doesn't have any weight. So the impact of these sanctions on Russia are going to be there for the better part of the next couple of years. Even if they turn tail left and somebody else replaced Putin right away, and they just sat down at the table and started negotiating hard to get back on track with everybody else. And the idea that, well, I mean, Russia doesn't need Europe. They've got China, and they'll just trade with China, and they'll sell them gas. And culturally, they and China can enjoy their virtual intranets, so that they have a internet dome, and China has an internet dome, and they can just sword fight internet domes or some nonsense. Is ridiculous on a lot of fronts. One, because there is a giant stampede of production leaving China. They have the same demographic problem that Russia has in spades, and neither one of them makes the stuff that the other needs at a volume where they can solve it. Like, China imports so much goddamn food that all of the wheat from Russia wouldn't cover it. So and not the least of which is that the Russian people are not going to be happy only interacting with China. Or the Chinese people are going to be fine with their only operating partner in the world being Russia. Think about those two groups of people. Yeah, just wrap your head around that the interpersonal racial issues of Russia-China, Russo-Sino relations. And that's it. Bye. You know what I mean? Like, you don't get to talk to anybody else. And there's now a brand new wall around the country, blah, blah, blah. All right. So this is, you know, a lot of this is for real. So as we do on the show, we want someone who can tell it like it is. And I could not be happier that, you know, the RNC chairwoman, Ronna McDaniels. Why is this? Is it like, I don't know why what has happened? I turned that up. There's no shadow over here. What happened? What happened? It's very strange. Am I casting a shadow? It's weird. I guess so. To fix that at some point. Is the contrast that's up? Hold on. Anyways, that's going to bother me. It's a relatively new thing, so it's very strange in that regard. But there we go. Filters. Edit. Let's see. Does it go up? Do I need to raise this up? No. Ooh, well, that didn't work. That's terrible. See what I mean? I don't know why that's so very odd that the light on that is almost. Yeah, I don't know what that is. It's very strange. It just started doing that. Yeah, I can see the screen. Nope, that's not it. Far too smooth. There we go. It's a little better. It's more of a shadow thing. I don't know why that, like, there was an update, and ever since then it's given me this seam. I'm sorry, it's a production thing. I had to fix it for a minute. So it's just I don't think it's the camera because that hasn't changed at all. You know, like see, I'm sort of see-through right now because of that. That's not good. All right. I'll fix it. It's fine. Let's see. How about this? Filters, edit filters. And then, let's see. Go to here. Go to custom. Take this. Choose that. Whoops. That helps. That's great. I disappeared. Come back. Come back. There we go. We'll fix it later. I'll have to do it on my own time. This is going to drive me crazy. It's not too bad though. We'll make it through this bit. It seems to be like if I lean back, there's a shadow here. I think I'm just getting too close to the camera. I missed you guys, and I'm crowding you. That's what's happening. Okay, we'll make it through. I just So Americana. It always reminds me of that. Everywhere I go, something reminds me of her. This is Real America Season 2, Ronna McDaniel's podcast for the RNC. In a new episode of Real America, RNC chairwoman Ronna McDaniel sits down with President Trump to discuss the need to return to American energy independence, the war in Ukraine, Biden's failures in Afghanistan, and how Republicans will take back the House and Senate. Thank you. New topics where he'll, oh yes, Trump's plane had engine failure. That's another great example. He wasn't on it though. He's just letting it rot. We'll get to that. Okay, so here we go. This is the chairwoman of the RNC has her own podcast. The Republican National Committee, the group that allegedly received a shit ton of Russian money in both the 2016 and 2020 elections through a variety of sources. And you're going to see today how that money was spent. This is the best Americana that rubles can buy. Look at the opening of this, by the way.
With wonderful people.
Hello.
Do incredible things.
They're doing great stuff, y'all. They're deadliest catching a motherfucker. Like, it's amazing. This is a fishing boat that catches motorcycle engines.
But too often the media...
Too often, DC becomes the government of people in America, where the capital is beltway offing stuff.
Liberal politicians ignore big parts of our nation and the...
Yeah, flyover country, which we will show by flying over it with a drone.
People who make it work. So I'm speaking with leaders and policymakers who deal...
Around a tiny little card table. We call this the kids' table chat. It's kind of like, it's for politicians that can't sit at the big boy table at Thanksgiving because the rest of their fucking family hates them.
Real problems every day.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you say real problems? Then why is Ted Cruz there?
I'm Ronna McDaniel, and this is Real America.
Is it though? Is it though?
Today's guest needs no introduction. President...
Oh yeah, he does. I'm not familiar with this dude. I mean, I don't keep track of politicians that haven't been in office for, over a year. It's just too much work. Unless they get a job at a network as a pundit. I mean, the only reason I know Claire McCaskill is because she got folded into the normal. But who the fuck is this dude?
Donald J. Trump. President Trump, welcome to Real America. I'm so thrilled to have you here. I'm a little nervous because of your vagina-grabbing comments in the past do make me a little concerned. And as a former Campbell Soup kid, I feel like your soup for my family remarks make me a little bit nervous. I'm a little scared right now.
People coming over with bags of soup, big bags of soup.
You're just looking at me like that and you're going,
soup for my family.
And that worries me. I worry a little bit.
Because I watched The Apprentice. You had the #1 show in America.
Yeah, that's right. This dude was on The Apprentice. I don't know what he's been doing since. I know he's currently unemployed. I think he has a flip book out or a pop-up book that he's selling. I don't remember.
Ever and ever. Any tips? Anything you want to give me?
Well, I just think if you are yourself, you're going to do very well. Okay, Ronna?
Great.
You have a great way about you. You're going to be very...
She's got a way about her. She sits at a card table, saying what's on the cards. She's got a way of kissing ass.
Thank you. I go into a little background and more personal, but there's so much happening on the world stage right now.
Yeah, nobody cares what's going on in your life, and if we got into that, it'd be so ugly. I mean, honestly, can we talk about Lara? How did she get to be taller than you? Have you asked Ronnie Jackson what occurred? Why is it that she has the best muscle tone in the whole family? Seriously.
Sorely missed. We are watching what's unfolding in Ukraine. Yeah. You were so tough on Putin. You made us energy independent. You were tough on...
Yeah, you did it all right, and how quickly it's all fell apart.
Stream 2, you went to NATO and said it's time for these countries to defend themselves.
Yeah, you kneecapped NATO as best you could and still failed miserably. I mean, you basically end up giving paper cuts to everything, and all of a sudden they're more united than ever because they can use you as a fundraiser. It's great.
What do you think right now of the media trying to say that you weren't tough on Putin?
Well, it's a corrupt media. We have a very corrupt media in this country. I think I've done it.
Yes, I wouldn't even trust that microphone in front of you. How do you know what you're saying into it is coming out? How do you know that it's not being translated into something else? Maybe there's a Trump impersonator that is, when you're trying to answer your question.
You weren't tough on Putin.
Well, I don't know. I always thought that Time Magazine was highly overrated, but Fox News is a bunch of shit, and I wish MSDNC would give me a job because that's where the real money is, and I'm broke as fuck. And is this mic on? Anyways, I think you're fantastic, and they once told people I don't like to grab women by that part. I grab them basically whatever's closest. The whole point is that, and you got to trust these microphones, Ronna. You got to know what to do and what to say and why to say it. And here I am, you're doing a fantastic job. And where was I? Oh, yes. And I was going to, Rudy Giuliani, so good. Everybody was great. And sorry, we're going to see what he was really saying. Yeah,
we have a very corrupt media in this country. I think I've done a few things in terms of exposing that, to put it mildly.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I would have even known RSBN and OAN and Newsmax and those things existed if it wasn't for you.
They are absolutely terrible. They don't want to talk about immigration. They don't want to talk about election fraud. They don't want to talk about a lot of other things. And then they'll give you the...
That's not true. I mean, I've heard a lot of stories about how immigration is largely a manufactured problem. And it has to do with kind of lack of people coming through, and then more people coming through after the pandemic, sort of make up for that time. Especially as our economy came back, this was one of the few economies in the world where you could go and actually find a job. And there's a lot of job openings. So if you were an immigrant in another country, you might think there's no better time to go. And of course, Fox News is telling everybody that the border's open. So why wouldn't you come? And then, of course, what was your other stupid
narrative? There was never anybody tougher on Russia than I was, and I would say that Putin would, if he was being honest, he would say that.
Yeah, and he would be honest. I mean, you have his phone number, right?
Sanctions I put on. I was the one that ended Nord Stream.
Exactly.
No, he didn't.
Never anybody even close. I mean, Nord Stream to them, Nord Stream 2 was the biggest thing. Nobody ever even heard of it until I came along complaining.
Yeah, most of us had only heard of Nord Stream 1 and that they were building Nord Stream 2.
And then I shut it down.
And no, he didn't.
There was never anything so big that happened to Russia, shutting down Nord Stream 2. And then
never anything. But Afghanistan, nothing. The breakup of the Soviet Union, as a matter of fact, becoming the Soviet Union after being Russia for quite a long time. Nothing compares.
Came in and he opened it up almost immediately. I couldn't believe it. And now we are where we are. It's a disgrace. The other thing...
yeah, that's, by the way, Trump thinks that's how the troops got into Ukraine, was that they came in through the pipeline.
We are...
they came in through the Nord Stream pipeline.
And were, just a little while ago, energy independent.
We still are.
Producing more energy by far than Russia or Saudi Arabia. We're going to be double the size of both in a very short period of time, probably within 12 months. But we were...
Yeah, it was, not 2 weeks, though. And by the way, 9,000 unused oil and gas leases currently available to oil companies in the United States. 9,000. 9,000.
Independent for the first time in more than 72 years. And that was a killer for Russia because we brought the price of energy down. We were down at $30 a barrel, $32.
Hey, asshole, we were down negative $36 a barrel because the whole world's economy ground to a halt.
$40 a barrel, $40 a barrel.
Exactly. Hey, remember in what was it, 2008 when oil was $31 a barrel? No?
And actually much less than that for a period of time. And nobody had ever seen anything. And that was...
Nobody had ever seen anything like that before. And ever since, I guess, the thing, nobody'd ever seen oil prices so low in that time. Oh my gosh, how do you do it? Oh, the thing, do it again. Do. Drivers are squirming as gas prices blast through levels last week, last seen since the oil crunch of 2008. 2008, U.S. oil prices hit $145 a barrel, and gas price peaked at $4.16. That's across the country. No war, no pandemic, just money, just oil-producing countries going fuck it. According to government data, with average gas prices now at $4.19. We seem to have set a new record high, but those are nominal prices that don't account for inflation. If you adjust for overall price changes since 2008, gas prices would have to hit $5.25 per gallon to be a new record high in real terms. That doesn't make $4.19 easy to deal with. Even so, gas, let's see, hit $1.45. Let's see. And then, so that's $145 a barrel. And then, whoops, the things. Remember this? Anybody? One oil price went negative on Monday, signaling that there's no place to store all the crude the world is producing and not using. April 20th, 2020. Look at the price of oil right there. While Trump was president, oil was negative $37 a barrel. So give me this. Tell me all about year over year. What's the difference between this year and 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 this year? This year? Huh? No. Oh, look at this. Look at the financial crisis 2000. Look at the price of oil there. Yikes. Look at it way up here. This is in 2020. You think the year over year inflation number is going to be high when the year before is like that? You think? And by the way, oil, the truth is somewhere in the middle, and it's below this point. They manage this to keep it high. Then let's see. Oil. Let's see. By the way, this was part of the other story that was around. Shell buys Russian oil at a bargain price. 100,000 metric tons of Russia's flagship Urals crude on Friday. They paid $28.50 a barrel, below the price of international benchmark Brent crude, the widest discount on record. The politics of just make me. Listen to an hour or two of Alex Jones' Infowars podcast to catch a glimpse of what he's talking about. My God, what a mess. And at the end, he had this guy, Mike Root. Come on, yeah. I'm glad you felt the need to narrate it as such. Let's see. And then it went up to 113 and even out about that point. Okay. We could do so much, and it's a disgrace, really. It's all, yeah.
Certainly tough for Russia and other countries because they had to go out and they had to compete with those prices. So, and now they're making a fortune with what's going on. And
by the way, nobody was competing with those prices. This motherfucker went to Russia and Saudi Arabia and said, please stop producing so much oil. If you stop producing, we'll lower our output. Remember that? Trump agrees to help Mexico meet global oil cut target. Remember, did anybody remember this? Remember when Trump was, there was a game of chicken going on between Russia and Saudi Arabia that was lowering the price of oil? And Trump was like, oh no, that's not good. I have a lot of oil stock. So he went over there and said, look, I mean, beyond the whole bullshit story that we're begging OPEC to produce more, after Trump had just went over there and had this shit a year earlier. Think of it this way. The argument that Biden is asking OPEC or on his knees or begging OPEC to produce more oil. That's the sales pitch you've heard a bunch over the last little bit. And even that we're asking Venezuela to do the same thing. And then remember that that's all they say he's doing. Please, he's going on, please produce more oil, please. Right? That's what he's allegedly doing. Meanwhile, what did Trump actually do? He went to Russia and Saudi Arabia and said, please lower the amount of oil you're producing, and I'll make our companies do it too, and Mexico. aimed at stabilizing crude prices, which had fucking cratered. U.S. reductions will amount to 250,000 barrels a day, according to Trump and Mexican President Andre Manuel Lopez Obrador. Speaking in Washington, Trump said the cuts would depend on the approval of other producing nations. The United States will help Mexico along, and they'll reimburse us sometime at a later date. Right. Is that happening right now? Mexico. Mexico, if you're listening, right. During the talks on Thursday inside the OPEC Plus group, oil producers resolved to make cuts equivalent to around 10% of global supplies. But Mexico balked at the initiative. Oil prices have cratered under the pressure of a price war and the devastating economic impact of the coronavirus global pandemic. You know, reality. And hold on, I got to shrink this down a little bit. Trump, who has sought to serve as kind of a mediator in the oil dispute, said on Friday he had not made assurances to Saudi Arabia that the United States would not bail out U.S. oil producers. We didn't discuss that. So basically, the taxpayer would make up for the shortfall that oil companies would do if they cut back. Lopez Obrador said Mexico is pressed to make cuts of 400,000 barrels a day, or 23% of current output, before the group lowered the target to 350. Lopez Obrador, who made increasing oil production at struggling state oil firm Petróleos Mexicanos one of his priorities, said Trump offered to help before Mexico announced it would cut output by only 100,000 barrels per day. When I told him that it was 100,000 and we couldn't do any more, he very generously said to me that they were going to help us with the additional 250,000 to what we are going to contribute. So for that, I thank him. So Trump went to Russia and the OPEC Plus nations and said, if you cut output, we'll cut output, and we'll pay for Mexico to cut output. We'll subsidize a cut in Mexican output of oil. Yeah, I guess we were refunding them for the wall since it didn't fucking work. And Trumpers and maggots, are you guys still cool with this? Did this just fall into the memory hole and stay there? It's one of the reasons why the price went back up. It's one of the reasons why the price didn't naturally rise on its own. Can you imagine how fucking cheap gas would be right now if this hadn't happened? And again, this goes to the whole thing Biden saying about capitalism without competition is not capitalism, it's exploitation. This is exploitation. This is market manipulation. And Trump initially, like literally throwing himself in between reality and oil prices on a massive fucking scale. Also, negative $30 a barrel. What is that doing to Saudi Arabia and Russia for a time? And again, why not fill the strategic reserves when it's negative? Why did he wait till it was up again before buying it to fill the reserves? Why do you go, holy shit, even at 20? Like, Mr. President, the price of a barrel of oil is negative $15. It's what? Sorry, it's negative 20. It's what? It's negative 22. It's what? It's negative 30. They're expecting 35 by tonight. Get the strategic reserve, whatever, the bureaucrat in charge of that on the line. Buy now. Buy it now. While it's negative, buy all the oil we could possibly put into the strategic reserves right now. At that price, negative. We will pay. You can pay us to take it. Did he do that? No, he didn't. The dude who wrote Art of the Deal went, oh, that sounds terrible. I'm going to take a nap. And then he went upstairs and I guess watched a rerun of Fox and Friends, argued prices with Russia and Saudi Arabia and Mexico. When the price went up to 25, then he started buying. Because Art of the Deal. Like, how bad a business person. Yeah, the cupboards were bare, and I waited until prices went up to fill them, even though I emptied them.
Buying energy from Russia.
What, is this crazy? So
from Russia. I've been saying this for 2 weeks, and it's no longer true.
And I didn't really mean it when I said it before, but now.
We're at $112 a barrel and it's fluctuating.
Going way up.
We're funding this war.
Yeah.
You made us energy independent, which also made us safer. And I don't think a lot of people understand, and you said this on the campaign trail a lot.
Yeah.
We have to have manufacturing in this country because what if we go to war? We need to have energy independence. You also said,
I'm sorry. We need to have That's what he said a lot on the campaign trail. I did all of his fucking rallies. I don't remember that. Does anybody did anybody remember him saying we have to have manufacturing in this country in case we go to war? The fuck? Hold on, I feel like. Give me 1 second. This has got to be. All right. Hold on 1 second. There we go. I just think it's important that, Mr. President, that we tell Ronna, I have a couple questions. Most of them have to do with some stuff I read on Facebook. Okay. And on Facebook they had this they had this thing on Facebook. It was like a calendar of all the Q posts and that kind of thing. And I was like, oh my God. And then they would trace it to like weird words like kofefe and shit like that. And they were like, he meant to say that. And I was like, nuh-uh. And then I was like, oh my God, yeah, he does.
CPAC, you're the only president.
Yeah, you're the only president that sleeps with a CPAP. Why is that? Besides the fact that you obviously are a snorer and a farter. I swear to God, what keeps Melania from unplugging that fucking thing and hooking it up to your buttocks?
In the 21st century, where Putin did not go after land. He did it under Bush.
Well, he didn't have to. But okay, go ahead.
Did it under Obama. He's done it under Biden. What do you say about Biden taking this Russian oil?
He took over Georgia. He took over Crimea.
Yeah.
He took over. Now he's taken over. It looks like.
Yes. And I think, by the way, thank you for bringing that up, Mr. President. Putin did take over Georgia. And that's what's going on with those vote machines. Like, I think if you know them black ladies that were stealing votes and they had them under them suitcases that were under that table? I bet if those black ladies, if you like snuck up on them and you looked underneath their hair, there's probably a zipper in there. You pull that down and it look like Russian agents inside there. Not that I'm against Russian agents, because I'm strangely for them. But they're bad when I want them to be bad.
Taken over the world the way Biden talks. And during my 4 years, in fact, I watched Sleepy Eyes Chuck Todd the other day, which is not often that I watch him.
That is funny. I watched Chuck Todd a lot, mainly for his haircut. I just like it. You know what I mean? It looks like he was just always. It always looks like he was just taking off a bicycle helmet.
And he asked, I guess, Blinken a question: how come this didn't happen during the 4 years that Trump was president?
Right.
And you know what the answer was? I don't know, but.
Is that what he said? He said, I don't know? Or did he say, I mean, obviously, honestly, you could ask him. Why don't, I don't know what that Blinken dude does. And how do you get a name like that? How do you get a name like Blinken? I mean, you don't want somebody negotiating who's going to fucking blink. You know what I mean? That's the thing. Why is he always blinking? I think he's shifty. That's why. Bet he likes cheese pizza. That's all I'm saying. Meanwhile, why don't you call up and ask Putin? You got him on fucking speed dial?
Tell you why, we were very tough on Russia, and they knew this would never have happened had the election not been rigged. This would have been so easy. And by the way, that includes China.
Oh, believe me, that would have been easy, and China would have been easy, and Iran would have been easy. Oh my God, we missed such an opportunity with you becoming president, because if you just like 2 weeks, China and Iran and Russia would have been sitting at the deal table saying, deal me in, Mr. President. I want some of this America first.
Because China is going to be making a move soon, in my opinion.
Yep. Yes, that country, there's a country called Chinese. I don't know if you know about it.
So easy. And by the way, that includes China, because China is going to be making a move soon.
Yes, Chinese going to be making a move soon. That's one of my favorite Wu-Tang lyrics.
Opinion on Taiwan and Beijing is up for grabs if you look at it.
Oh my God. He's breaking news right here, y'all. The Chinese are going to invade Beijing. Watch out for that. The CCP is going to take Beijing. It's up for grabs. First Taiwan, next Beijing. How the fuck? That's amazing.
China, because China's going to be making a move soon, in my opinion.
Yeah. Chinese going to be making a move soon. Mo-Tang clan don't know what the game on. I don't know. I don't rap. It's a thing. It screws with my line dancing.
Taiwan and Beijing is up for grabs if you look at it.
Yeah, but that's right. Beijing is up for grabs. I swear to God. I think they're going to sell it on the open market. I mean, you think it'll be open bids, or is there a Chinese version of eBay?
China is going to make a move, and a very strong move on Taiwan. And
Who? Sorry, who's going to?
China is going to make a move.
Chinese is going to make a who?
Up for grabs if you look at it.
Good, yeah.
China is going to make a move, and a very strong move on Taiwan. And I would say soon.
I think what he means is, and I don't want to speak for you, Mr. President, but he's going to make China's going to make a move, is going to move on Taiwan like a bitch and like try to take it furniture shopping and then get left hanging there or something like that. You'd know more about that. That happened to you once, right?
Rather than later. Now the Olympics, I was saying after the Olympics, now the Olympics is over. They see.
What? The Olympics is over? We ain't never going to have Olympics again? It's all done. It's Armageddon. Fuck that.
Fools we made of ourselves in getting out of Afghanistan the way they got out.
Yeah.
I got it.
They should have followed your example and gotten out by staying in. That's how you do it. I almost made a terrible reference that I can't, almost crossed one of my own lines.
2,000 soldiers, and the rest was easy. And there's never been anything so.
It was easy. You know what I mean? It was so easy. He could have done it in 2019. He just didn't feel like it.
It's handled, so bungled, so incompetent. And I think that's actually a big reason.
It was handled so bungled. You know what I mean?
Been anything so mishandled, so bungled, so incompetent.
So mishandled, so bungled, so incompetent. My sister, my daughter.
And I think that's actually a big reason why the problem you have with Ukraine. I think when Putin and when Xi and when Kim Jong-un and when the Iranians are watching that, the Iranian leaders, I think they saw what happened in Afghanistan, and I think that gave them a new sense of power and dignity.
And
a new sense of power. That's lovely. A new sense of power and dignity. We don't want to do that. We don't want to give these people a new sense of power and dignity. We don't want them out there working it.
You look at what you did with Syria, you look at what you did with Soleimani, there is no question that you would have been responding. And they knew that because strength is your calling card. And
that's right. Strength is his calling card. If you've ever had him, by the way, if you've ever needed help moving, 2 slices of pizza and he's there. You promise him 6 fish delights and a handy, and he'll be the first one helping you get a couch down a flight of stairs.
Buddy would have crossed you. And I believe that 100%.
That's right. No one would cross you, especially not me and Ronna. I'm nervous just sitting here. You're so dangerous. How in the world? So exciting. I mean, you could snap at any moment, reach across with your tiny little hands, grab me by the throat, and oh, Lord.
What do you say to the people of Ukraine right now as they're struggling?
It's so.
Yes, say it in Ukrainese. Y'all have all the best words. Some of them got to be Ukrainese.
Because, I was the one that got them the anti-tank killers, the javelins.
The anti-tank killers. That's a thing.
Call them. And in fact, I just heard it was.
I know the javelins are what that's the actual thing. But you call them the anti-tank killers. So they're against tank killers. Anti-tank killers. So a javelin would be a tank killer, and you got them anti-tank killers. Therefore, you got them I'm getting a nosebleed. Did you send Mike Pillow over there with weapons?
We sent quite a few others, and the Biden administration stopped them. So that came out today.
It came out today that they stopped them?
We were sending more. That's really what's kept them in the game, those anti-tank busters, and they were...
I'm sorry. Is that a different weapon, the anti-tank busters? So they have tank busters, and you sent anti-tank buster weapons. Is this like a double negative?
Lethal, and they were great, and they said...
Yes, those are two, lethal and great. That's the way I think of things. They're lethal and they're great. I mean, some people would like them just because they break down the gear and make them immovable, but it's nice that they also kill people. I mean, that's great. It is great. Like, of all the great things, like Make America Great Again, the kind of great that's in that also great.
Obama sent blankets and Trump sent the anti-tank busters. And, it was...
Anti-tank killers. Busted tank anti-killer tanks. Tanks full of anti-tank buster tanks. You're welcome.
Incredible, but we had many more ordered too, and they were all set to go. And you know what happened? They said, "Don't send them."
They did. They just said, "Don't send them. Do not." And look at that face. That is the face of a man who's telling the God's honest truth right now. That is the look of a man who, I mean, if he was sitting right across from you, looking you right in your eyes, and you could pull yourself away from his magnetic gaze for 1 second, you go, that is a man who in no way is lying to me just to get in my pants.
It's very sad when I look at what's going on. And this could be, I guess, millions of lives if you really think. When they're shooting at apartment houses and the buildings are collapsing, there are a lot of people in those buildings.
Yeah, it's a good point. Yeah. I mean, and real estate. So, yeah, it could be millions. Maybe not, but it could be.
And they don't talk about it. They say 2 people were injured. No. Many people.
No, millions. Trillions have been injured. There's like a bazillion injured people in Brazil alone, I heard.
Killed. It's all...
I got a Brazilian, and I had no idea how I had to pay by the hair. It was very expensive. I was like, this is going to cost me a Brazilian. And she said, what? And I said, I can't talk with this mask on. And I pulled down my mask and coughed on her. I haven't seen her working there in a while.
Nonsense. And buildings are coming down left and right. They're being obliterated. And there are a lot of people in those buildings.
This is good. It's almost like a weather report of military deaths. Hold on. I gotta go back to normal because this is fucked up. Listen to this dickhead talking about, like, there's no way dead people. There's no way there's only 2 people in that building. They hit that building. Vlad was calling me, and they're saying, it's on the news they killed 2 Ukrainians by blowing up a building, and Vlad's like, no, that was a direct hit. We totally hit like 10,000. I'm like, stop crying.
This is a modern-day disaster.
Is it? It's a modern-day disaster? Yeah, unlike any of the other situations in the past where buildings were shelled. It's a modern-day disaster. Think of all the cell phones that are being destroyed in these bombings. I mean, people are never going to remember their Netflix password after this. It's a modern-day disaster.
Not only did you make us stronger with our national security, but our country was so much stronger with you were here with our border, with energy independence, with jobs.
Well, I mean, the wall doesn't work, but I mean, it didn't. Can you ask him why the wall's such a fuck up? I mean, wall, slat fence.
I do want to ask you a question because
because we both have a microphone. We're sitting in this weird little trapped space at a folding card table that we set up at Mar-a-Lago because you won't leave the building because you're becoming a recluse.
Successful. You're from New York, but you always understood the common American, that average American. And right now they're really...
You don't understand, like, the world is full of dummies. And you knew that there would be a group of dummies you could take advantage of. And you've been working at doing that your whole life by manipulating people in the middle of the country to buy books about your business success, even when you were a total fuck up. How'd you do it?
They can't fill their gas tanks. Their home heating bills are up. They're paying $356 a month more in inflation.
Right.
Just inflation costs. It's just an inflation tax. Just pay. Is it one check, or can you? Fucking.
You were a voice for them. What do you say to those people right now?
Well, yeah, lift them up into the sunshine, just like a Jesus kind of guy. Tell them what's going on in Americana.
I think the party is still a voice for him. If you look at Hispanics, if you look at...
This is like, let me get this back to why I'm here, because it's the Republican National Committee, and I can get the fuck out of here.
American, Asian American, we've taken in so many people that we never would have taken in if it wasn't for Make America Great, me, a whole group.
If it wasn't for me, we wouldn't have taken in so many suburban women who stampeded away from me in the last election, and we got a bigger percentage of black people than ever, largely because by targeting black neighborhoods and guaranteeing that they had a hard time voting, the few conservatives that were there couldn't vote either. But we were like, who gives a shit about 6% of black conservative people in these neighborhoods if we can get rid of the rest and stop them from voting? So it was worth it. But then this whole mail-in voting thing happened, and early voting, and everybody started voting. Suddenly the number went up, nowhere near making any kind of an effect. But what a bump.
A lot of people, we all worked on it very hard. And, we have a much bigger, much more powerful party. We're going to do fantastically.
Yeah, I know. This is fantastic. I mean, look at this party. First of all, it looks like Tom Cruise is behind the table, and this is the gun system that he had on his back in Live, Die, Repeat. I'm sorry. It looks like it went, guy. Sorry, it just reminds me of the scene where he's, hold on. This is going to drive, I'm going to get busted for this whole thing. I just know it. Hold on. This part right here. They're being chased, and the creature comes out and he starts shooting, and then he just pops out of the top with his thing like, look out. She gets hurt. Boo. This part. the top of his guns, those things. It looks like, isn't that right? Sorry. I know it's so random, but fucking hell. Right?
We did
so good with everybody because more people got to vote, and so statistically speaking, more people got to vote. We're going to try and stop that, and the numbers will go back down. But while we're at it,
great in 2020. We did much better than we did in 2016.
Exactly.
I mean, we got.
Yeah, it's amazing when you let everyone vote, how everybody gets more votes. You still lose.
12 million more votes. Most votes ever gotten by a sitting president.
And most votes ever gotten by a challenger. Yeah. Ouch.
And, a lot of bad things happened.
We picked up a lot of House seats.
That's
you
right.
had major coattails.
Yeah, you had major coattails. Super coattails. Honestly. I mean, the way you sit and your diaper puffs up, it's like we could ride that all the way home.
Helped the whole ticket.
We had tremendous coattails, and Texas was
so good. Our coattails were so good. They're the kind of, I had a coat on at one point. I don't like to wear a coat because, it's a good coat.
33-0 the other day. We won 33 or in a few cases they're in primaries, but they're way ahead. We had a tremendous night in Texas 2 days ago, and I think people saw that loud and clear. So,
yes, so we saw it loud and clear. The best words, ladies and gentlemen. You can see it loud and clear. You can hear it so vividly. Fucking hell. Honestly.
We have a big obligation. We have to straighten out the country. The country's a mess. You know, when you talk inflation, when you talk the border, when you talk about the wall, when you talk about all of these things, the wall could have been finished in 3 weeks, and it had such an impact.
No, so it had such an impact. That's why it's worse than ever.
Because we built almost 500
which it isn't.
miles of wall, and we had the best numbers on the border we've ever had.
During COVID, this is the same shit.
Numbers were almost the lowest ever recorded. They've been recording them for a long time, but
they haven't been recording them. They weren't recording them during the Spanish flu. Just saying.
Stopping the drug traffic to a large extent. And we've never had a southern border as good, and now it's the worst it's ever been, whether it's human trafficking, whether it's drugs, whether it's people coming across. It's by far the worst it's ever been.
No, it isn't. It's like 2019 numbers. It's the same shit.
Every single thing we have is in bad shape. The military has become woke. We have great generals, but not the guys that you see on television. I mean, we took out ISIS, 100% of the ISIS caliphate.
I'm sorry. Does anybody know who the suicide bomber in Afghanistan that killed our troops was aligned with? Anybody? No? Yeah, and the slurping is fucking gross.
We got al-Baghdadi. Nobody's done the job that we've done.
Yeah, Osama bin Laden who?
Now, every single thing, inflation is totally self-inflicted. I think
inflation is totally self-inflicted, yes.
Inflation is largely because of the energy. You know, the energy has gone up so much.
Yeah, it didn't make any sense then either, but sure.
Gone up so much that the bacon goes up with it because
the bacon goes up with it. Energy goes. You gotta put your pig in your car and drive it, and that costs more.
Single thing you do is.
Oh, nice. Yes, I'm in Spider-Man 2, and I'm very charming.
Related somehow, whether it's the trucks or the machines that make the product or whatever it may be, the plane.
Yeah, the machines that make the pigs that turn the bacon into trucks.
Fly it to a destination. Everything's related.
Yes. I often have my bacon picked and flown in from Iraq.
The energy, it's so big. And energy is doubled and tripled. It's going to be tripled and quadrupled.
And he got rid of the Keystone Pipeline day one. And he stopped leases on federal.
Again, and Saki pointed this out. The pipeline is how the energy source gets places. It's not that it exists. There's a certain element of volume of getting it out, but they're not at capacity. And also, why do we have to endanger our aquifers to get Canadian tar sands oil to market? Fuck
lands
that.
And water, day one. This energy crisis and the inflation and the national security.
There's 9,000 unused private land leases. Biden handed out 3,300 leases on public lands in his first year. Knock it the fuck off.
All tie back to his failure and the unwinding of your success.
And he never said he.
Yeah. Yes, he unwound the success of COVID. Unwound the success of what others? The wall was it worked so well as a wall, and then the wall just stopped walling at a certain point.
Getting rid of it. I mean, he never said he was going to do the Keystone XL pipeline.
Yes, he fucking well did. He ran on it. It's part of the reason he won, fucko. Good Lord. Like, how? This is the guy with the greatest memory. Well, like, greatest memory, best words. Here you go. Biden blasts Keystone XL, calls it tar sands we don't need. Biden says he would revoke permit for Keystone Pipeline. 2020, 5/18. That's fucking May. Biden campaign said he would rescind Keystone Pipeline. With a pen stroke, Biden cancels Keystone. He said he would. Here's a novel concept, fucko. Biden ran on it and fucking did it. not only did he and the whole he never said they were gonna do the pipeline.
Never said he was getting rid of it. I mean, he never
said he was getting rid of it, except in all of the debates and in his ads and on television and in all of the presidential and primary debates and whenever anybody fucking asks and on his goddamn website. What the fuck are you talking about? Biden's campaign said he will, quote, look at this, proudly stand in the Roosevelt. There you go. Where's the actual quote? Biden strongly opposed the Keystone Pipeline in the last administration, stood along President Obama and Secretary Kerry to reject it in 2015, and will proudly stand in the Roosevelt Room again as president and stop it for good by rescinding the Keystone XL pipeline permit. He never said it. I don't remember what he said. I don't know. Doobie-doo. Dumb doobie-doo. Fucking hell.
And the unwinding of your success.
And he never said he was getting rid of it. I mean, he never said he was going to do the Keystone XL pipeline.
No, he never said he was going to fucking do that. He never said he was going to do it, except all the times he did. It's one of the reasons he won. It's specifically. And by the way, you want to know one of the reasons why I fucking wrote, and this is Canadian broadcasting, so they're a little edgy about this. Get out of here. Hold on. Close. Presidential candidate doubles down in interview on campaign's promise to cancel pipeline from Canada. Joe Biden has criticized Canadian tar sands oil, doubling down on his promise to scrap the Keystone XL pipeline if he's elected. The presumptive Democratic nominee made clear in an interview with CNBC that a statement from his campaign earlier this week reflects his position. He wants the pipeline stopped. Fuckity-dookity. I've been against the Keystone Pipeline from the beginning. It is tar sands that we don't need, and that is in fact very, very high. It is a high pollutant. When pressed by an interviewer about the damage his pledge might do to the oil industry, Biden replied he doesn't want to shut down all projects immediately. He brushed off, however, the importance of Alberta to Texas pipeline to the U.S. industry. We're going to transition gradually to a clean economy, but the idea of shutting down Keystone as if this thing keeps the oil industry moving is just not rational. It does not economically, nor in my view, environmentally make sense. Criticism from Alberta. By the way, I think it's funny that Ronna and Trump are basically repeating Canadian government talking points, and right now they think Trudeau is a tyrant. I don't know who they're defending at this point. Strange bedfellows, but there you go. I didn't say he was going.
The head of the union, he was a Democrat, and he endorsed O'Biden. He endorsed O'Biden because I call it O'Biden because it's a combination of the two. And they really.
Yeah, I didn't screw up saying that. I always think of him as Irish.
Hurt this country. They've hurt this country so badly. But what's happened in the last year, now it's almost, it's hard to believe. We're talking about 2.5 years, okay? Okay, think of it. 2.5 years till. This country so badly. But what's happened in the last year, now it's almost, it's hard to believe. We're talking about 2.5 years, okay? Okay, think of it. 2.5 years till the big presidential election. Hard to believe it.
Hard to believe. It does fly.
And we're talking about 6 months till a very.
I 2.5 years since November of 2020. It's been 2.5 years. I gotta. Oh man.
I think we're going to have a tremendously successful midterm. But when you look at the damage that this man and this administration has done if you take the worst 5 presidents in the history of our country and add them up together, you haven't seen damage like this. There's never been anything like it. This country.
By the way, this sounds like someone's criticism of you. This sounds like somebody talking about it. Oh my God. Well, it has been a long 2.5 years. So.
Is so badly hurt. Plus, it's lost its confidence.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. We need to get some American Viagra. Make America great over and over. Oh, yeah.
Magoo.
All right.
Has lost its confidence. It's lost its self-respect. It's not respected.
What? Now, the Republican Party has, no question. The Republican Party has lost its self-respect. It's lost its confidence. It's on a hard fade. They're dealing with this everywhere he goes. Everybody's like depressed and upset and demoralized. He means his voters. The rest of us are slugging right along. Like, what is this bullshit that America's only great when he's in charge? Like, the ego of this guy is stunning. But it's also like to talk down the United States like this.
In the world, they're laughing at us. There's never been.
No, they are not. They are definitely not. Hold on. Whoops, hold on. No, they're not. It's so bad. It's never been this bad. I can tell it's bad because I'm in a garage surrounded by a blue tarp talking to, honestly, a 3.
And I must tell you, the border's horrible. A lot of
Our government is, the American people are strong, but they're suffering.
They're
look at her trying to scoop it back. What? No. The people are strong. They're not weak. They're not like, no, they're knuckling. They're not. They're weak. They've totally lost their confidence. Their penis doesn't work. They're like on 4 blue pills, and still it's a sad little mushroom. And the American people have all lost their confidence. They're hiding in a golf club apartment, eating fish delights. It's happening to everyone.
It has lost its confidence.
Yeah, they've lost their confidence in this government for sure.
But if you think about it, I really believe.
No. Confidence in this government. That's not what he's saying. Look at her trying to fix this shit.
It was Afghanistan. The way they withdrew from Afghanistan, the border's horrible. All the stuff is horrible. Inflation,
the crime.
But that showed something that was so grossly incompetent, and then leaving $85 billion behind.
Yeah, but he says a bunch of things, and then he zeroes in on one. He's talking about Afghanistan right now. We didn't leave $85 billion worth of gear there.
Leaving American citizens, many, could be thousands, behind, taking
Still
out
there.
hundreds of thousands.
Yeah, could be. I mean, the number currently is 85 people with dual citizenship, and they're not in Afghanistan. They're in, like, Pakistan. But okay.
Of people, we have no idea who they are. Many terrorists are in that group.
That's right. We left a bunch of Americans there, and we just took in a bunch of evil Afghan serial killer future terrorists.
Just loading planes up filled with people.
That's
no
right.
vetting.
That's right. And leaving dead.
Yeah, they were. They just flew them around. It's terrible. Like, I don't know what happened. You stopped being president, and the generals forgot how to general. And they just flew all these people. They didn't even vet them. They didn't even go through the process. Hold on. Well, I mean, all you have to do... Fact check. Afghan refugees in the U.S., how they were vetted, where they're going. Fact check. Afghans coming to the U.S. are not unvetted refugees. how they were vetted, what it entails. Most Afghan evacuees not vetted before entering the U.S. This is New York Post, of course. This is Trump's source of news. Most Afghan evacuees not vetted before entering the country. Look at them. They're just being loaded into a giant thing. Look at that. Why are we not vetting her? Look at this. Like, midget terrorist. Midget terrorist. Look at that. Check their backpacks. Why are you giving them snack bars? Alola snack bar. That's not what they're saying. A GOP Senate memo claimed the majority of Afghans evacuated from Kabul were not properly vetted. Oh, a GOP Senate memo claimed that? Well, then that's all I need. Nearly all of the 82,000 Afghans were evacuated to the United States from Kabul and were not properly vetted. A GOP Senate memo claims that they didn't do it. Tens of thousands through in-person. The current administration has not vetted information provided by tens of thousands through in-person interviews. You mean during the vetting process? They didn't vet the vetting. Choosing instead to rely solely on criminal and terrorist databases to seed out potential threats or screenings. You mean interviews and co-interviews and talking with... These are people that helped. All right. Like, our own soldiers are like, that's the guy. That's his family. Fucking hell. The memo drafted by Senate Republicans in October summarizes interviews with federal officials from the Departments of Homeland Security, Defense, State, who oversaw what they depicted as reckless screening and vetting process at home and at military bases. At home and at military bases. It's reckless. Look at these people. Look at that kid. You can't tell me. Look at this. I mean, future bombers of America. Look at this lady. She's wearing teal. This lady's got jeans on and sandals. Clearly a terrorist. Roughly 75% of those evacuated from Afghanistan were not American citizens, green card holders, Afghan special immigrant visa holders. Sources familiar. Yes, roughly 75%, where one person worked and they have a wife and 2 children on average. Some had more, some had none. Hence, 75%. Oh wait, it's Carl's birthday today? Did I just see what I thought I saw? Look at that. Happy birthday to you, Carl. Happy birthday to you, Carl. Happy birthday, dear Carl. Big hug, and sorry about the passing of your dog. And we love the rest of your pets, and thanks for being a fun source of NASA information. Happy birthday to Carl. Yay. Happy birthday, Carl. Can't wait to see you soon. Okay. These people didn't come in. These evil. Did you see these? 75% of the children, they didn't check their criminal records.
Soldiers, and we hadn't lost a soldier in 18 months. You know that because I've heard you say that.
Yeah.
But we hadn't lost a soldier.
I heard you say that, so it must be true. Also, you made a deal with the Taliban. The Afghans lost a bunch of people because we released 5,000 Taliban soldiers. Hey, we'll let 5,000 of your guys out, let you guys run the country after we fuck off if you just don't kill anybody till next May. Okay, but starting next May, we're going to kill everybody. All right. And then Biden gets in and like, we can't get everybody out in that amount of time. Sorry, we're going to start killing everybody at the end of May. 3 more months. And if you don't, we'll strafe bomb your all your encampments. All right, 3 more months, but that's it.
The head of the Taliban, Abdul. I said, Abdul, don't do it. Don't do it. And we hadn't.
Is that what you do? Put down the gun. This is between you and me, Abdul. Let the girl go. Mano a mano, Abdul. Don't do it. Don't reach for it. But I had to pow.
Soldier in 18 months until that day. It's just, I really believe that was maybe the most.
What about before that time? So you're saying we had lost soldiers before that to this man and his fighters. Because can we understand what is also being said here is that that our soldiers were continuing to be killed by Taliban members and people aligned with Abdul, and Trump made a deal with them to leave the country as long as they don't kill any more of our soldiers until a certain date. So he made a deal with the guy who was killing U.S. soldiers. Just let me get out of here, and I won't do anything. All right.
Embarrassing day for this country in its history.
It was, and it.
No, not even remotely close. Nobody gives a fuck. And by the way, keep pushing this, because it's not gonna. Especially with what's going on in Ukraine right now. The American exit from Afghanistan, as bad as it was how it was always going to be, because it was always going to be a quagmire. It was always going to be a problem. And the extraction was always going to be painful. That's why nobody did it. Biden just doesn't give a fuck. We got to go, because it would have meant even more deaths. 64 of our soldiers died in Afghanistan while Trump was president. And while the 13 that died, by the way, honorably defending citizens and were killed by a suicide bomber at a crush at the airport that should not have happened had this fuckhead done any of his homework and hadn't gone, when are they getting out? Next year. I don't have to worry about that till about a month before. I'm not taking any of these assholes. Fuck the Afghans. If he'd have done any of the work and removed a bunch of the staff, there wouldn't have been a crush at the airport. The ISIS fighter would have never gotten anywhere near that, and we wouldn't have had to have soldiers staffing that part of it.
Not have happened under your watch. And
would never have happened.
I do think we're heading for a good midterm. And
because they were going to stay. Ask him why. Because he wasn't going to leave. He was going to keep Bagram.
Would not have happened under your watch. And
would never have happened.
I do think we're heading for a good midterm. And I want to talk about something that you did that a lot of people don't realize in Virginia. We had a great election night with Glenn Youngkin, Jason Mieres, Winsome Sears. We won.
You did something great in Virginia. You stayed the fuck away and only did promotional stuff that went straight to your followers and no one else, so that people who can't fucking stand the sound of your voice and your face, who are Republicans, weren't turned off from voting for our candidate. And that's the level of strategy.
The House of Delegates. Right. But you made a tele-rally and you called
the tele-rally. You called what? You did a tele-rally. Yes, we TM'd tele-rally.
Of delegates. Right. But you made a tele-rally and you called hundreds of thousands of Trump supporters that were not going to turn.
And no one else. I mean, this is a big part of this. And hundreds of thousands, get the fuck out of there. There weren't hundreds of thousands of Virginian Republican MAGA people on the fucking tele-rally phone call. You're out of your mind. You're telling me that hundreds of thousands of people in Virginia, hundreds of thousands, were on the fucking phone just going, I'm listening. Shut up. I'm listening to the tele-rally. Okay, hold on. If you believe that there's a basement in the pizza place, press 7, okay? If you believe that growth on Steve Bannon's head is actually something that everybody's going to get in a new Trump America, press 6, okay? If you think that Paul Manafort is a silver fox now, that he can't dye his hair in jail, press 1, okay? Got that? Okay. Please hold. I'm on hold. I'm listening to tele-rally. Oh my God, I can barely hear him it's a huge crowd. It's incredible. Can y'all hear that? Can you hear it in there get on the other line. Pick up the other one. Area, I can't, is he even there? There he is. Oh, it's really him. It's really him. He's reading something poorly. I love this man. So we just listen. We just listen on the phone. I don't know. I mean, I heard it before. I was at 2 of the rallies. If you'd like to keep listening, like to. Oh, motherfucker, it started at the top. It went back to the beginning.
Can I? Operator, hi. Oh yes, tech support. Is there a way to like fast forward or go back? Yeah, cause I'm a wall voter. Yeah, I'm a wall. Yeah, basically all I want to hear is CRT and wall. Can I just fast forward through a Ron deal and Sleepy Joe stuff? I mean, I get it, I like it, but okay, thank you. So just use the 4 and the 6 buttons. Thank you. Okay, that's great. Wonderful. Fast forward, fast forward, fast forward, fast forward. Wall. He's saying stuff about the wall. And I don't know what magnified fortune is. Hold on, Speedy. Get back. Hold on. He's saying a bunch of stuff. Hold on. Let me put him on. I'm going to put him on speakerphone. See if you can hear it. Hold on. I'll put it up here so y'all can hear it.
Action replays in magnified fortune. And I was, part of a family that was very well knit.
It's great.
While
this
they
is tele-rally.
drown your endless torment of, what they do.
Y'all hear that?
They have an endless list of propaganda and propaganda methods.
So good. That is
Indiana
one of my favorite.
Attorney General. Assuming you're believing in atmospheric filth.
I do not, honestly.
Winston Churchill stood on the rooftops in London, very calm, making speeches. Winston Churchill.
This tele-rally's awesome.
So we're going to get it going to a level that nobody can ever turn course on us. Nobody can ever change.
Yeah, that's
the Burmese executives.
Hunter Biden stuff. Hunter Biden stuff.
Burmese. They say, pronounce it Burmese.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Burmese. Free health care for illegal. Would never, ever, not even possible, have happened if I was president.
Never. Oh my God, so true, and yet so he had. Hold on, it's a little. I'm getting a little noise. Hold on there.
I had to beat off.
Oh wait a minute, I'm gonna fast forward past that part. Give me 1 second. Let's see. Shit, let's go in here. I think I'll rewind it to that part.
Nuclear stockpiles.
There you go. That's what he did. Well, hold on, rewind. That was good.
Nuclear stockpiles.
Yeah, that's what I was tuning in for. I wanted to hear more about that. But, luckily they give me, there's a technology. I guess you can ask questions on this. Mr. Hello, I'd like to record a question for the president. How are they able to let me hear all these wonderful things on this tele-rally? The technology is amazing.
Action replays in magnified fortune.
Oh, that's amazing. I didn't even know that was real. That's incredible. Do you have some sort of like a tech support place someplace? What's it like there?
When they gaze upon Yosemite.
Oh, that's not what I was talking about. I thought it was in Michigan.
Michigan
right?
Gave us Motown. Gave us Motown. Gave us the Mustang.
I see. Okay, cool. And I guess, let's see. I think he's almost done with his part of it.
Once it was reluctantly aroused. It was hard to get it aroused, and it is hard to get it aroused, but we got it aroused.
Oh, that's terrible. Hold on 1 second. Let me put the fast forward.
We're going to be appointing very pro-crime judges.
Oh, dear. That's not, we shouldn't have played that one. No, I'm going to do that. Oh, that's a funny button to push. Oh, yeah, that happens every time you touch that part of the burger phone. I don't understand why that is. Anyways, I think he's getting to the point where he just invites guests.
We're honored to have with us today our amazing Vice President, Mike Pence, and his wonderful wife, Karen.
Oh, I see. Oh.
And, when you say per capita, there's many per capitas. It's like per capita relative to what? A lot of very bad things are happening in Nicaragua.
Oh, dear. I feel like I dialed a 976 number.
In that race. And we've targeted 125,000 that we've identified that were on the call with you the Monday before that Youngkin election. And you...
Sorry. Hold on. Hundreds of thousands of people. Hundreds of thousands of Trump supporters.
Rally. And you called hundreds of thousands of Trump supporters.
Hundreds
of that multiple hundreds of thousands of Trump supporters
that were not going to turn out in that race. And we've targeted.
Yeah, they were not going to vote because fuck it.
125,000 that we've identified that were on the call with you the Monday before that Youngkin election.
125,000 that we've identified. Sorry, these chips were here and I ate a couple as a prop. And now I'm hungry, so I'm actually eating them. I apologize.
And you turn them out.
Look, I'm a professional streamer. I'm eating on camera.
And you flipped Virginia. He won by 67,000 votes.
No, we had hundreds of thousands.
We had hundreds of thousands and he won by 67,000. Listen to this shit.
Turn them out. And you flipped Virginia. He won by 67,000 votes.
No, we had hundreds of thousands.
The power of your support cannot be underestimated. And I know Glenn sent you a really gracious note thanking you.
It was very nice. Yeah, he sent me a beautiful letter. He called me the night of.
We wrote love letters. It basically you have to treat me like Kim Jong-un.
The event, the big, very successful event. And no, it was very nice. No,
the big, very successful event.
Sent you a really gracious note thanking you.
It was very nice. Yeah, he sent me a beautiful letter. He called me the night of the event, the big, very successful event. And
you mean the election? The event, the big, very successful event? Fucking hell.
It was very nice. No, hundreds of thousands of people went to vote.
Yeah, I heard that. I heard someone said that. She did just now, and it's bullshit.
They were on the tele-rally, the teleconference, they call them teleconference.
Yes. He's just telling the story back to her. She just said that to him, and he's like, we did this thing called a tele-rally, and it was great. And hundreds of thousands, I don't know if you've heard, hundreds of thousands.
Girls, they're beautiful, or town halls, but hundreds of thousands of people.
Beautiful, or town halls. What the fuck? Wait.
Hundreds of thousands of people went to vote. Not only that were on the tele-rally, the teleconference, they call them teleconference calls. They're beautiful, or town halls, but hundreds of thousands of people, and those people voted, but a lot of other people voted. And
shit. What the hell? Well, I think we got two pieces of audio on that one. Run that by me again. Back up, because let's hear this whole fucking explanation, if I may. Jesus Christ. Hold on. Yes, I do. Okay.
But you made a tele-rally, and you called hundreds of thousands of Trump supporters that were not going to turn out in that race. And we've targeted 125,000 that we've identified that were on the call with you the Monday before that Youngkin election, and you turned them out. And you flipped Virginia. He won by 67,000 votes.
No, we had hundreds of thousands.
The power of your support cannot be underestimated. And I know Glenn sent you a really gracious note thanking you.
It was very nice. Yeah, he sent me a beautiful letter. He called me the night of the event, the big, very successful event. And no, it was very nice. No, hundreds of thousands of people went to vote. Not only that were on the tele-rally, the teleconference, they call them teleconference calls. They're beautiful, or town halls, but hundreds of thousands.
Fucking hell. I couldn't stop. I had to stop it. The tele-rally. Fucking hell. Trump campaign tele-rally. Like trademark? Are they like copyrighted or something? It's not called teleconference calls, teletown halls, whatever. It's called a tele-rally. Your fucking company applied for a trademark for it. It's a trademark thing, you fucking jelly-headed moron. Jesus Christ. They're really so good. Some people call them that. Some people don't. I come up with the best words. Fucking hell. So stupid. They call them something. I don't know, Telecasters, there's a guitar, I don't know, television, some people call them a thing.
Hundreds of thousands of people went to vote. Not only that were on the tele-rally, the teleconference, they call them teleconference calls. They're beautiful, or town halls, but hundreds of thousands of people, and those people voted, but a lot of other people voted. And They really got out the vote. And if you remember, his opponent was only going against Trump. I mean, it was
That's all he did.
I think he helped to get out the vote. I think he really made people aware.
Hey, asshole, she's trying to make it that you were the difference, not the fact it was that you helped Youngkin win, not that McAuliffe fucked up, which he clearly did. McAuliffe lost those 67,000 votes when he was like he misworded how he was talking about like people showing up at school board meetings and threatening people that parents shouldn't have a say in their education was misread, and they were able to use that. That was his fuck up. It was his race to win in that case. And we still won in New Jersey.
So that was a great victory. We have a lot of other great victories. And I think we're going to have some of our best victories coming up.
Well, you just had 33-0 in Texas with your endorsement. Right. What are you going to be doing?
Because he only endorses the faraway leader in it. And you guys don't fund anybody that he's not supporting, especially in places like Texas. Like, how hard is it to fucking call in Texas? And then he just lost somebody in, let's see. Wow, this is so stupid. Hold on, let's see. Maybe there's a searchable thing in here. Like, there's got to be some sort of a search. Politics, Trump land. Maybe that's what it is. Are these in order? Nope. They just did a story on the Daily Beast about how like his pick just lost. Like anywhere where there's any chance at all for anybody to get an edge, where if it gets purple at all, or leads anywhere other than like radioactive, freaky, fucking right-wing red, he loses.
Midterms. I know a lot of people first, they're discouraged about 2020. They don't know if their vote will count. Yeah. We need them to go vote. But two, how much are
this is, by the way, this is why she's having him on. This is 100% it. And this is her, like, look at her face and know that she's fucking like, God damn it, tell people to vote. Tell them they have to get out and vote. Because if you don't, they're going to lose. That's why he's on there. And he's not a kingmaker at all.
Be out there helping our candidates and win back the House and the
Senate. So we
Senate.
have found tremendous voter fraud. In fact, 2 days ago.
Motherfucker. I mean, I don't feel bad for them. They made their bed and they got a lie in it. But this is exactly what she's trying not to do.
Wisconsin, as you saw, they just announced they want to decertify, I guess, and other things.
I saw that.
On so many, tens of thousands of votes. And Pennsylvania's
just changed just said that they will not accept ballots that don't have a date. Yeah, go figure. Yeah. And Democrats are still suing to get rid of voter ID and all these things.
Why would anybody not want voter ID except that they want to cheat? That's the only reason.
And they also put in 2 laws to let non-citizens vote in New York and Vermont. Yeah, so, I mean, don't tell me.
In municipal elections that have nothing to do with the federal government or statewide elected office, shut the fuck up. Like, again, this is not even that weird. Other countries, big countries, do this in places like Amsterdam and London to some degree. It's this is so stupid. It's local shit for basically people on permanent resident visas and shit like that who aren't citizens but basically live here. They're allowed to. They're letting illegals just roll in and start voting for mayor, and then next thing you know, you're going to go into New York, and if you don't speak Spanish.
They're the party that loves secure elections. So what are you going to be doing heading into this midterm? Are you going to be on the road? Are you going to be doing tele-rallies?
So we'll be working with a lot of good candidates with endorsements, with rallies, and with tele-rallies. We're going to be doing a lot of rallies. We have one next week in South Carolina.
Okay.
Sort of we have one tonight with you.
Yes, we.
Oh, dear. Sorta we have one tonight? What?
We have one next week in South Carolina.
Okay.
Sort of we have one tonight with you.
Yes, we do.
RNC. I heard you have a tremendous crowd. We're doing this first, but we have a great crowd tonight.
Oh, okay. So that he just did this before the RNC. I see. Gotcha. All right.
But we're going to do very big rallies. We had 87,000 people in Texas a few weeks ago.
It was unbelievable.
We had 63,000 people. We had an incredible one in Alabama. We're going.
And then how many did you have at the Bill O'Reilly thing where you charged admission? Just curious, by comparison. Once people don't get in for free, what's their level of commitment?
To different states, and we're getting bigger numbers than we've ever gotten. And the reason is that they're angry. The people are angry at what's gone on in the country.
Well, they're also the same people.
With the elections, with the border, with Afghanistan, with just about everything. And now Ukraine maybe is worse than everything combined. What's happening in Ukraine?
Oh, it's terrible. And it's all Biden's fault. And it never would have happened because I would have just given it to him.
Is a mass murder.
Yep.
It could be millions of people by the time it's finished. This is what's going on. Is not even believable. You know, people watch it on television.
What the fuck are you talking about? It's completely believable. This is how disassociated from fucking reality this moron is.
And they get used to, oh, gee, they see a building here, a building there burning. You know, you look at what happened in Florida with the building collapse, right? And it was terrible and horrible and a lot of people killed. Well, they have those buildings collapsing all over.
That's a great point.
This large piece.
Yeah, it's like Ukraine has turned into fucking Miami. What? What the fuck? It's just basically, you know how sometimes you see a tornado hit a place? It's like a person tornado. And if I had been in office, no tornadoes.
Land all over Ukraine. They're just being collapsed by missiles hitting them and by army tanks.
They're just being collapsed by missiles. That's how I would word it, wouldn't you? What happened to the best words? What the fuck is happening? Listen to this shit. They're
all over Ukraine. They're just being collapsed by missiles hitting them and by army tanks shooting shells into them. And here we have one building in our great state of Florida that collapsed. But look at what's going on in Ukraine. Many, many buildings are collapsed.
Gee, what? Like I live in Florida, so we have we call that collapsed building Little Ukraine now. And so I know what it's like. What? And also, how in the world do you not say missile striking buildings and knocking them down, or tanks shelling buildings and knocking them down or destroying them? Because his languaging in this is amazing.
All over Ukraine, they're just being collapsed by missiles hitting them and by army tanks shooting shells into them. And here we have one building in...
shoes. They're shooting shells. Puka shells. They're shooting shells into them. You do realize the shells don't actually... You know, the shell is... the shell is the part that stays. The shell is the... You don't actually... maybe that's why Russia's losing. Maybe he's advising them, and the Russian soldiers are keeping the actual munitions and chucking the shells at the buildings. What? Yeah, and you know what? Somebody says shells pulled out of Russia. That might be why his brain is hooked on the word shell. This is so fucked up. They are throwing, you know how when you're they are shelling these buildings, and in Florida, we find shells on the beach. So, I see those, and I go, wouldn't it be terrible if giant ones of these were fired into my building because I didn't pay the insurance a long time ago?
Our great state of Florida that collapsed. But look at what's going on in Ukraine. Many, many buildings are collapsing with people in them.
Yeah, they're just collapsing with people in them. I mean, who's the asshole architect who didn't learn the valuable lesson of the tower in Miami that fell and went over to Ukraine and built a bunch of buildings that can't withstand having shells thrown at them?
Murder.
It is massive. It's genocide. And as we see the kids being separated from their dads and the sadness. I think every American's feeling that right now.
Yes. Imagine how the ones that have been separated from their families permanently feel. For example, if I may, I just saw this as I was looking for this other story. Mom seen dead in Ukraine gutter was Silicon Valley worker. Tatiana Parabanis and her kids were killed by shelling while trying to evacuate Irpin. That's like people have seen the picture of her in her coat. She worked. Let's see. She worked at a Palo Alto startup, SE Ranking, a tech company whose 110 employees were split between California and Ukraine. Confirmed the photo showed that Tatiana, 43, their Irpin-based chief accountant, her daughter Elise, 9, and son Nikita, 18, were killed. We're so shocked, saddened, devastated, and angry. There are no words to describe our emotions. Heartbroken. She decided to stay in Irpin when the invasion began because her teen son wasn't allowed to leave the country under martial law. But they decided to flee when a bomb hit their apartment building in Irpin. They started leaving and then they got killed. Fucking hell. I mean, Jimmy Dore says this woman's a neo-Nazi. I could take that at face value. Her and her kids. Right, Jimmy? Right, Russell? I mean, they shouldn't have been there when their country wasn't actually looking to join NATO so that Russia could be upset that they might join NATO so that they would do this. I mean, it's their fault, isn't it? Fucking hell.
We need to win it back. And you're going to be key. We need you.
Yeah, she's trying to talk. Literally, she just realized, fuck, man, he did the same thing. He just started talking about voter. Don't talk about voter fraud. Tell everybody to get out and vote. That's it. You got to vote. You got to come out. It's going to take that level. She's like, hundreds of thousands of people were on these calls, and we identified 125,000 that actually voted. Meaning that, let's take her at her word. Hundreds of thousands, which I would take as more than 2 in theory. Because you go like, we had 270,000 people on that call, and 125,000 of them actually went down and voted. We kept track of that, and a bunch may have done more. So I'm guessing 300,000 is her illusion number of how many people she thinks was, listening to that tele-rally or got a fucking robocall from him. And still only 125,000 of them showed up because he told them to. Because he was like, I know it's rigged, but maybe if you got some time and you're feeling it, you're like, darling, let's go and vote.
And what would you say to those voters at these rallies of the importance of this election?
So we're going to do it again. We did a great job. We had the greatest economy that anybody.
Motherfucker, she's not asking you about you. You're not running. She's talking about the midterms. I don't know why I give a fuck about Ronna McDaniel in this situation, but this is fucking hilarious. Could this asshole be more useless? And I'm enjoying it. Don't get me wrong. This is a good sign.
Ever had, and that means other nations also. Nobody's ever done. And then we got hit by the China virus. The dust flew in from China, and we got
the dust. Oh, I see. So we've thrown out the lab leak theory. We've chucked aside the wet market. Apparently, it was just fucking dusty out there. That's what was going on. It was all a big plot. The whole thing. It was Illuminati dust came in, and the dust flew in from China. Motherfucker, what?
Hit by the China virus. The dust flew in from China, and we got hit by the China.
Wait a minute. Wait. What do you mean, yep? Why are you yepping him? When was this interview aired? March 9th. They just posted this. This is brand new. Fucking hell.
And we did it again. We got the vaccines. We got the therapeutics. We did so many things that were so amazing. Operation War.
Uh-oh. Shit. Almost got me. He almost got me.
Captain's log.
Speed, which everybody admits was a miracle, and it was a miracle.
And thank you, because you saved lives, and you did it.
Thank you.
Thank you. You saved lives. Now, can you answer my fucking question? What are you going to do to get people out and voting? God damn it. Every time I ask you, what are you going to do to get out the vote? You keep going, we had a great thing. The wall was fantastic. Operation Fart Steve, motherfucker. I can't do this anymore. Why do I have to do this bullshit?
It would have taken 5-10 years to get those vaccines normal.
What do you mean normal? It would have taken 5-10 years to get those vaccines normal. Republicans won't even fucking take it because they think it was rushed because of Operation Fart Steve.
Captain's law.
For fuck's sake. You did this faster than anybody could have possibly. And that's why everybody doesn't trust it because
Captain's
it
log.
was in a hurry. Fucking hell.
This is what President Trump does. Yeah. You cut through, you say, I'm sick of the government. Let's figure out a way to be efficient. You bring in the private sector.
I'm sick of the government. Let's find a way to be efficient. So you bring in the private sector. And the only companies that work directly with Operation Fart Steed
Captain's law.
were the last ones to come up with an actual vaccine.
And you saved hundreds of thousands, if not millions of lives with that.
Well, you know, we had in 1917, 100 million people died. I think we would have had
18. Son of a bitch.
Thing. So we did something that was incredible. We did it in less than 9 months, and it was supposed to take anywhere from 5 to 12 years.
Yeah. If we were in 1918.
Not that the FDA likes me too much. I would say that they don't exactly like me, but that's okay.
Because I was talking out of my ass. I mean, it has nothing to do with vaccines. It's because I told people to shove a light bulb up their ass and drink bleach.
We've done a job, and we're going to, look at very strongly doing it again. I think we can really do something that will be comparable, if not even better, than the job we did before. So don't lose hope. I mean, the people can't lose hope.
Let's take back the House and the Senate.
Look, listen to this shit. She's so trying to get him back on fucking track. And she's like, this slurpy moron is, he's somebody flicked the record needle and it fell into the wrong fucking groove. And remember, the question she asked him was, how are you going to get these people out to vote?
Because they'll change election laws if we don't.
That's true.
They tried to get rid of voter ID in 30.
Oh, see, this is how she's going to try and this is her in case of emergency break glass argument. That they're going to, if the Democrats win, they're going to change all the rules so they'll never be able to get another Republican elected ever again. And he's said that before, so she's trying to get him to that sentence.
States. People don't realize this. They passed that. They tried to pass that Right to Cheat Act, right, which would have gotten voter ID laws.
The Right to Cheat Act. Now look at his fucking face. He's like, right to cheat. I like that. I made that up. That's me. I did that. Right to cheat. I like that. Watch him fucking hell. Please. Fucking look.
They passed that. They tried to pass that Right to Cheat Act,
right,
which would have gotten voter ID laws gone, ballot harvesting.
Good name. Right?
That's what they were going to pass.
Well,
and if we don't,
yeah, that's a good name. That's a good right to cheat. Call that right to cheat. We did right to try. Right to we could do right to try to cheat. Probably not as good. Well,
Captain's law.
That by Fart Steed was great. Right to cheat. It's good. It's good. It's good. It's like Clark Griswold drinking fucking eggnog. It's good. It's good.
People don't realize this. They passed that. They tried to pass that Right to Cheat Act, right, which would have gotten voter ID laws gone, ballot harvesting.
Good name. Right?
That's what they were going to pass.
Well,
and if we don't win it back, that's what they'll do, which will hurt us for 2024.
Where did you get that name? I love that.
I made
Right
it up.
to Cheat Act. That's a very right to
the
cheat.
RNC.
That's what it was.
That's why you picked me to be RNC chair.
You know, it's interesting. The Democrat National Convention, right?
Yeah.
To get in, they showed me the pass. It's as big as you are. It's a thing, and it shows pictures from 2 different angles and everything else to get into.
Yeah, you don't have a constitutional right to go to the DNC. Hey, here, while you're bringing that up, can you bring a gun into the RNC? How come you can't bring a gun into CPAC? I thought you guys were Second Amendment absolutists. And look at this. What did you think of that? That's a great. How did you do? Oh my God, that's all I could think about.
RNC.
Right?
That's what it was.
That's why you picked me to be RNC chair.
You know, it's interesting. The Democrat National Convention, right?
Yeah.
To get in,
Democratic.
they showed me the pass. It's as big as you are. It's a thing, and it shows pictures from 2 different angles and everything else to get into their convention.
That's their security.
But they don't want any voter ID.
No, they're new.
Yeah, you don't have a right to go to a convention. Free association means that anybody can set their rules or no rules. As a matter of fact, the weird thing is not why the DNC wants to make sure that only DNC members or people who have paid to be there or whatever can get in for security purposes so they know who people are. The real question is why, if the RNC believes in freedom and free speech absolutism and Second Amendment absolutism, why they have any rules? Why do you have a similar pass to get into the RNC? Why? That's the real question.
Law actually would have made it so a person could come in and say, this person is who they say they are. That's all you needed to vote. I mean, it's just crazy.
Because of old people who are citizens and have voted multiple times, they put that added in, like you have to bring them in as a relative to let them vote because they're so fucking old. They want to vote, but they don't have a driver's license because they don't drive anymore because it was taken away or whatever. That's why we need a national ID card given to every citizen, period, end of story. You have a citizenry card, they'll never do it because they think it's the mark of the beast.
Well,
it's
that's
insane.
Because they want to cheat.
They want to cheat.
And the only reason you want that is you want to cheat.
And that's why you want nonsense.
Well, no. The only reason you'd want that is because some states that are insisting you have an ID for people who used to vote using an electric bill, and because let's say somebody comes in with your electric bill and votes, and then you come in to vote, and you're like, wait a second, that's not me. There'll be an investigation, and then that person who came in and used your electric bill to vote and change one vote will have 10 years in prison. So most people don't want to go through that kind of shit. It's a lot for very little impact. It's a low impact crime with a high price tag. So that's why there is no fraud of any magnitude. If you want to do IDs, then you have to give them out for free because there can't be a poll tax. And if it's federal elections want them or state elections don't or whatever in different states, the federal government has to provide every citizen with an ID card that you can update for free. But you know what that's going to mean? It's going to mean a thumbprint, kids. That's right. Yeah, when you turn 18, you're going to come in there and get your fucking thumbprint done. You can do it to get in your phone. I love how they're like, you need an ID if you want to go fly on an airplane. Private. Don't have a right to fly on an airplane. It's not constitutional. You have the right to travel, but get your ass there. Buy a horse. It's not. American Airlines does not owe you passage, so they can set whatever fucking rules they want. But when you go in there, like I use Clear and TSA Pre. That's one of the things about being famous is that you can't I can't play in the sandbox of privacy. I can't even pretend I have a private life in that regard. I've never been worried about Big Brother because for the last 22 years, I have been surrounded by Little Brother. Fuck Big Brother. Like everybody was like, Big Brother's going to see everything we do. You want to see Little Brother? Here's Little Brother. That's Little Brother. There you go. Somebody with a phone going, oh my God, that's that fucking guy. Oh my God, that's that fucking guy. That's Little Brother. Can we get a picture? All right. I guess everybody knows I was on this street at this time of the day, right? Hal needs to correct his posit that America doesn't have a greed problem. Why? Hal, we know you hang out in the Delta First Class Lounge. It is sweet. The Delta one. I only go to the Delta one. I'm not part of their frequent flyer thing. I just go there because they kill puppies in their luggage. That's why I would choose the Delta one. What? Yeah.
To be able to vote and all those things. So this election is so critical. Thank you for what you're
doing. Tell people to fucking vote, you dipshit.
doing. Thank you for being out there.
although, he's definitely out there. By the way, he went out and gave a speech at the RNC after this and did not tell people to go out and vote. He bragged about how he picked some winners, but not like there is no even generic language about get off your ass and vote, register, all that kind of stuff, because all these voter purges that are going to happen are going to include a shit ton of MAGA supporters. I'm telling you. Now, the Democrats are going to go state to state and make sure that people get if they get purged for some reason and they're a citizen and they have the right to vote, they're going to get back in there. But the maggots aren't going to do that. They're just going to assume that they're already cleared to vote by, Schittler over there.
I have two fun things I wanted to say to you. One, you're such a wonderful person. You've been so great to women. I'm only the second woman to be RNC chair, Kellyanne the first, to run a successful race.
It is so amazing to women when you elect a politician who has a history of treating women like shit, the fact that they get to promote so many women to positions of power just to hide the fact that they've been so shitty to women is really, right. Oh my gosh. And by the way, Greg, Raphael, Benny Loco, Georgina, Pliable Stats, Vincent, Barry, thank you guys for the super chats as well during this time. I just, my thing clicked in. Rallis Mom, thank you so much. I've got to jump in here real quick. There we go. To do something. And yeah. Cool.
But one thing that I will always remember is my first time coming to the Oval Office. You said
it was you and Billy Bush, and we took that Greyhound that they would drive you onto the property with. And I remember you guys didn't know I was in the bathroom while you were talking. And
is this your first time? And I said, yes. And it's intimidating. And you said, take a minute and just look around. And you were always so gracious and wonderful to everybody, whether on Air Force One or in the Oval Office. But you always
I don't remember any of that.
Had the majesty of the office in your heart. You never took it for granted. So thank you for that.
The majesty of the office in your heart. You always had, hold on. You always had the majesty of the office in your heart. I'm gonna eat it all by myself. If these guys don't come in, I'm gonna just jump on that table and rub it all over myself. I'm gonna use it like massage goo. Just spread it all over. Look at the candelabras, are all pretty. And then there's some nuggets. And then there's burgers and fish delights. Oh my God, look at, and by the way, look how he's looking at the salads. Like, who the fuck let them in here? He actually, he looks like he's smiling, but if you really, hold on, look at his face. Look at, he's a little bit pained. Like, it hurts to hold my hands up. People are gonna see how small my hands are. Can I put them down, please? One is smaller than the other. I never noticed that before. It almost looks like somebody's behind him, sticking their hands through his coat. How's my hand model? We're gonna find out later. Trump had a dude stand behind him, and that's why his hands were always fucked up, because he basically was like a Muppet. He just had somebody going. Like Cookie Monster. I'm shitting in the fireplace. You always had the majesty of the office in your heart. Just the majesty.
This is, you know why? And it always struck me, the majesty, which is weird that you never went to Burger King. You always went to McDonald's because you're the only majesty. You didn't want to have to compete. Oh, look, it's the filet-o-fish. Hold on. There it is. Look how many they're going to want a lot of these. Nobody wants those. No, this is the thing. Everybody's going to want these. Filet-o-fish. Fish delight. So it says filet-o-fish on the box. The McDonald's filet-o-fish is called a filet-o-fish. It's always been called a filet-o-fish. It's a filet-o-fish. Filet-o-fish, apostrophe O, filet-o-fish. Now, it's not technically a filet, so that's kind of a lie. That's why they had to put the O apostrophe in there and TM it, because it's not really a fillet of fucking anything. It's like squashed remnants of fish cuts cooked together, and it's delicious. But anyways, Trump thinks the filet-o-fish is called fish delight. If you haven't heard that, that's true. And this is your taxpayer dollars at work. Your taxpayer dollars paid for this majesty. Come here, baby. Come to Papa. Fish delight, time for fish delight, and the little boy on the candelabras peeing on my fish delight, my fish delight. I don't want a salad. Ew! Who brought the salad? That was a dumb idea. Fish delight. So he thinks it's called fish delight. There you go. And he always has, for some reason. And apparently they tried to correct him over the years. It's just like 1917.
Thank you.
And my last question, and this is a myth that's out there, and I don't know if it's true or not. When you were elected, and I know you love golf, a lot of world leaders.
What? Citation needed. When you were elected, and I know you love golf, that's why you live like a weird fucking hermit at one of your golf resorts instead of in an actual house like a real fucking person. I'm sorry. I'm not ever going to get over that. Donald Trump, the former president of the United States, does not have a house. He lives illegally in one of the big apartments at his golf course against the thing he signed about it not being a residency years ago when he took over the fucking place and turned it into a golf course. Why doesn't he have a house? The fuck?
When you were elected, and I know you love golf, a lot of world leaders are trying to get a hold of you, and they didn't know how because you were not a governor.
That's right.
So,
yeah, they called you on the golf course. Is it true?
I have heard that the Prime Minister of Australia called Greg Norman, and Greg Norman's the one who connected you. Is that true?
That is true. Greg Norman's a good guy. He's a friend of mine, and Jack Nicklaus got through, and other people got through, and some people couldn't, but we got to everybody.
So the golf world connected you.
Well, we connected, and they're great people. You know, Jack is an incredible champion, and Greg has been.
If I may, in honor of one of my comedy heroes,
housing. I have solved this problem. I know where we can build housing for the homeless. Golf courses. Perfect. Golf courses. Just what we need. Just land that is currently being wasted on a meaningless, mindless activity engaged in primarily by white, well-to-do male businessmen who use the game to get together to make deals to carve this country up a little finer among themselves. I am getting tired, really getting tired of these golfing cocksuckers in their green pants and their yellow pants and their orange pants and their precious little hats and their cute little golf carts. It is time to reclaim the golf courses from the...
There you go. Just every time
he brags about golf and knowing golfers and golfing all the time. Honestly.
And turn them over to the homeless. Golf is an arrogant.
That's right. Yeah. Sorry. This part.
Elitist game, and it takes up entirely too much room in this country. Too much room in this country.
I know all these people, Jack and people and rich people. Hold on. Why does? By the way, I don't know why that does that. I have to push play on this one.
Been for a long time, and he's a wonderful guy. And yeah, these are a lot of great people. But we have leaders that are great. We have some great world leaders, and
do we now? Tough people like Vladimir Putin and the like, and then we have some not so great leaders. By the way, this is the kind of stuff where the guy who's playing him on an SNL right now is just fucking nails it. Is this, they've done this and I told them it's terrible and yet it's a good thing, and I was saying, why would you, Care Bears are a terrible idea because Bears don't care. Chicago Bears, I enjoyed them a great deal, but you wouldn't want to hug them. The refrigerator Perry, he now works for a moving company, moving refrigerators. I know this because I'm in construction. Like that kind of, yeah.
People, but we have leaders that are great. We have some great world leaders, and they all got through, and we did well together. We had a
What the fuck is that? We have some great world leaders, and they were able to get through, and they were able to talk to me, and they talked, and some of them didn't talk, and others did talk. Thanks. I'm glad you like the cutaway, crazy and insane alien.
big problem with COVID, a gift from China, and we had a big problem, but a lot of them did a very good job, and some of them not so good. I mean,
Jesus, what the fuck does this? Where are you looking? First of all, why is he looking in the camera? Secondly, we have some great world leaders, and some of them did great with COVID, and other ones didn't, and they were able to call me using golf people, and that's how I talked to them. Listen to this fucking gibberish.
Tell you the ones that were great and the ones that were not so good, but we got it done, and we should be doing much better. We're doing so badly. I don't think the country's ever been at a lower point than it is right now. We're being pushed around. Even the way Putin talks to Biden about Ukraine, he says, don't get involved. Don't get near the fly zone. We're a nuclear power. Don't get near it.
Don't get near the fly zone. Oh, shit. We're a nuclear power. He talked to him like he never talked to him. What the fuck? She asked you whether or not the world leaders, before you got elected, because you weren't president yet and you hadn't been a governor, you didn't have spokespeople, you were a fuck up. And so they didn't know how to get you, so they were calling golfers like, do you know this asshole? Can you get me through? His staff is a bunch of morons. And that's where this fucking sentence went. Look at this shit. Ask it again. Is that true?
Guy's a friend of mine, and Jack Nicklaus got through, and other people got through, and some people couldn't, but we got to everybody.
So the golf world connected you.
And by the way, keep in mind, this is the asshole who's telling you that Biden is missing a step. While he's, by the way, been coordinating with our allies and with his own staff and creating a strategy that is actually fucking working. This guy, this is the best words, sharpest memory, more about ISIS than the generals. Remember all that?
We connected, and they're great people. You know, Jack is an incredible champion, and Greg has been a champion for a long time, and he's a wonderful guy. And yeah, these are a lot of great people, but we have leaders that are great. We have some great world leaders, and they all got through, and we did well together. We had a big problem with COVID, a gift from China, and we had a big problem, but a lot of them did a very good job, and some of them not so good. I mean, I could tell you the ones that were great and the ones that were not so good, but we got it done, and we should be doing much better. We're doing so badly. I don't think the country's ever been at a lower point than it is right now. We're being pushed around. Even the way Putin talks to Biden about Ukraine, he says, don't get involved. Don't get near the fly zone. We're a nuclear power. Don't get near us. We're a nuclear power. Well, we're a nuclear power, too. We're a bigger nuclear power. You know, I had all of the nukes redone and modernized and renovated, and also new ones. Not that I...
Yeah. All all of our nukes have new bathrooms. It was basically like the HGTVing of our nuclear arsenal. He had, that shitty tile that when they flip a house, he had that put on all of the missiles. So it was like he put in a new backsplash on all the fucking missiles.
Want them, but you need them for a case like this.
But you strengthened our military too. You came in and it was in a terrible state. You knew that was important.
Yeah, you came in and our soldiers just sucked and nobody knew how to do anything. And it was just the military, our veterans were awful people. And then you showed them how to love you, and that made them good.
Understood strength.
Yeah.
And the world saw that, and they understood weakness when they saw Biden, and that's why we're in the position we're in. So
we're a brand new military, $2.5 trillion. Now we left $85 billion behind in Afghanistan,
which could have been used in Ukraine right now.
Been used. That's 10 times more than they asked for, right?
Exactly.
Think of it. That's far more than they asked for.
And we just left it behind.
Just left it behind and ran.
Yeah, we just left it. Yeah, that's not true, but it's. Yeah, it's not true, but I don't know why did that stop him?
And ran and left Americans behind.
There's never been anything so horrible or so embarrassing in terms of this country. Never, in terms of prestige and embarrassment and all, there's never been anything like that. And I really think that's when it started going bad. I really believe that Putin wasn't really, because
Can he be the permanent co-host? Ronna, can you, I mean, I just want to improve on Democrats' chances this fall. Can you just have him on all the time? Please, Jesus. Please let people hear this rambling horse shit. Because the trick about listening to Trump is listening to him all the way through. Because so many people will pick one sentence out and it'll make him sound like he actually knows what the fuck he's talking about. And they'll go, oh, he was really criticizing the administration or policy right then. You listen to the whole thing, you're like, no, he was just rambling. It was just like if a dude walked in blindfolded with fistfuls of darts and started chucking them around, and went, one of them actually hit the board. You're like, yeah, but he put out like 9 people's eyes. Yeah, but I mean, he was blindfolded. He had a blindfold. He hit the actual board. He had unlimited numbers. Right. Anyways, so stupid.
I spoke to him very strongly about Ukraine.
Oh, thanks, Robert.
I really believe
Roberta,
that Putin wasn't thinking too much. When he saw that mess that these people did, our generals,
Jesus fucking, why are you moving in on him? Why is this camera moving in? I didn't do that. That's not me. Watch this.
Thinking too much. When he saw that mess that these people did, our generals, the stupidity of what they left behind and the dead soldiers and everything else, when he saw that, I think he said, maybe this isn't a bad time to act.
You pick your moment, right?
Yeah.
And he saw his moment.
Yeah, he saw his moment. And I've been... Some people wait a lifetime for a moment like this.
He saw that weakness. What would you say to a candidate right now who's getting ready to gear up and run? What advice would you give them to be successful in 2022?
Well, number one, you need tremendous.
Well, first of all, you got to voter fraud, and we got to fix 2020.
Energy. You have to be smart. There are a lot of tricks out there, and you have to be smart. You have to love our country. I really think.
Yeah, whatever you do, in the middle of a campaign, don't get caught with a trick. Sometimes, you think, oh, well, they're here. They might as well pee on the bed while I film it. And then like, oops, campaign ad.
Well, you have to love our country. And I really, I've been fighting off hoaxes and scams and everything else for 4 years, all made up stuff.
And you had such a great life.
Well,
you gave up.
You had a great life. You didn't have to do this. You don't have to be here. You could just, I don't know, I'm spitballing, get the fuck up and walk out of here and never say another word to anyone ever again. And I could just tell people what I think you think, and they could just listen. I could be your spokesperson if you would just never fucking say anything again. If you just leave. I mean, it's just a thought off the top of my head. If you would just stop fucking up my election campaign,
How am I supposed to get out the vote, you fucking dunce? Answer my question, Jesus Christ.
So much.
Yeah,
You gave up your salary.
I had a great life.
You had a great
I
life.
gave up, people don't know that. So the president gets paid like $400 to $450 a year, $450,000. And
Yeah, somewhere in that ballpark. I mean, I was never president, so I wouldn't be able to know that amount. I gave it to charity. Of course, he spent 300 years worth of presidential salary golfing.
it up.
You gave it
I
up.
gave it all up. I didn't take it. And you actually have to take it. And
And then you have to give it to somebody else because it's the law and da-da-da. Mm-hmm. 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 This is older. Hold on. Oh, from real Donald Trump. That's fun. Hold on. Mm-hmm. When is this one? This one's older too. That's 2019. Shit, I can't. It's hard to even keep up. Yeah, here you go. I gave it up. I gave it up. I gave up all the. I gave up. They make like $400,000 to try to remember even. I don't remember, but I gave it up because I didn't. You have to take it. I mean, I had to take it a couple of years, but I gave it, and I gave it away to charities that Eric was able to funnel back in to Rumble, and I gave it up, and then I of course made it up because the Secret Service had to stay at my properties and pay retail. Yeah, by the way, give a thumbs up, like, support the show. This is becoming a one video show because this thing is so full of lies and bullshit.
And you would give it to charities.
And I gave it back. And no, you give it to different departments. So you give it on drugs, you give it to different departments. But
yeah, so what you're saying is you used your presidential salary to buy drugs. Okay, cool.
Gave it all back 100%.
Because you love this country.
Because I do love the.
You did. I do love this country. That's why I gave back I didn't want to take any money from the taxpayers. I'm just doing this out of love for my country. It's not like I'm using the government and the taxpayer to keep my fucking properties afloat. 334 fucking years of presidential salary. I gave all 4 years back. And boy, it was the best money I ever spent, but I made that in a pile.
And because we need help in this country, we have a country that just has lost its self-esteem. I don't know. I've never seen anything like it.
I didn't loop back. He dropped the needle back in that groove again. He went back to the self-esteem thing. Please cut to Ronna so she can go, oh fuck. Grandpa's, are you smelling almonds?
People see me and they say, please come back. I mean, much more so than even before the election. They've.
Yes, because you only hang out with sycophants and crazy people who would crawl through broken glass to lick your taint. So, of course, they're going to talk like that.
Seen what happens, how bad it's being run, how bad things are being managed. And, our country is at stake. We are really losing our country.
We are.
With what's happening with the incompetence that we all see, we are losing our country. And we are going to make America great again.
Again. Well, thank you, sir. Thanks for joining my podcast. It's been an honor to have you here. And thank you.
It's great to have you here, and especially for both of us to sit in chairs that are uncomfortably low in this situation. So it looks like I'm trying to pass you a note Whose idea was it? What are we in quicksand? Like, is this the whole like? I did we? Is his chair buckling? I know he's put on weight since the thing, but
for everything for our country. Thank you for everything you've done in my life.
everything.
I just can never thank you enough.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Great job.
Thank you. I'm Ronna McDaniel, and this is what Republicans stand for. Join us next time on Real America.
What? I'm sorry. That's what Republicans stand for? What is it? Also, what's that? What is this image? Like, I get red America. Blue is less important as a color. It's more of a teal situation using a metal kind of thing. But it looks like you're trying to put barbed wire halfway through the country. Are you thinking of sort of a north-south Berlin Wall kind of a situation? Okay, this is real is in the middle. America less important. Real is important. America, we can make that in dark text. I don't know. They'll get it from the shape. America
is an amazing country.
Pictures that, okay, all right, yeah, then it starts back at the top. Holy shit, that one. All right, short one, because I can't just do one video in a day. Like, that's fucking silly. Here we go. This is just. Oh no, we're late. God damn it. All right, real quick. This is stupid. I can't not.
What we're trying to attempt to do here in the war room is like
I can't do it. Fuck that guy. It's gross. I don't need it. I don't know. Pass. I just couldn't look at the thing on his. I'm gonna like swat it like a fly and bust my monitor. It's a terrible idea. Forget it. That was brutal. Anyways, thank you guys for joining me today. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We're over 30,000 subscribers on YouTube. I can't believe it. And we're almost at 30.1. Wow. 1,100 people just in the YouTube chat alone, not to mention the people joining us over there. Another almost 400 on Twitch in the live chat. Friggin' amazing. Beautiful. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for the support. Thank you for lending me your eyeballs. And again, this is why you have nothing to fear from like, you know, this whole like Trump's gonna run again. He's gonna do. Well, he's got so much power over all these people. No, he fucking well does not. This is a mess. She knows it. The cups were empty. She never got to her notes, and he never convinced one voter to get motivated. That's her whole fucking job, and he screwed the pooch. Seriously. I am not worried about this dude. Oh, check. Okay. Check Twitter. Will do. Let's see. Hold on. I'm checking Twitter. Is something going on? Is it something I gotta worry about? Just check it in general. What am I checking for? Just is something trending currently that I'm remembering? Trump's plane going down. Rebel News. Are they getting shut down? Are they running out of money? I don't know. Steve Bannon, something happened to him. Is there a particular thing? Go look on. I see. Oh, I see. The 30K picture? Thank you for that. Oh, that's great. Hooray! Magoo! That's great. I just retweeted it. That's amazing. Magoo! Yay! Thanks, Wes. Appreciate it. Yep, there are a couple of new wrenches out there. Use your power only for good. I needed to take some of the weight off of CSL. So,
conversations will occur. Just saying. That said, I will see you guys tomorrow in the afternoon, 4 o'clock at PST, because we do the show a little bit later. And then next week is spring break for my kids, so travel will be a part of what's going on. We're going to be in Kentucky part of the time and here part of the time. I'll try and keep things on schedule as much as I can, but if I have to bump something, that's family week, so be forgiving. And then we'll be back into like a coasting for a couple of months straight, where I've just got the occasional show, but it won't interfere. And then there you go. Thank you so much. Take care, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Much love. Thanks for the support. Yeah, there you go. Yay. Bye-bye.